Grand Rising Cosmic Family, it's your boy Jynesis back with another video on astrology. Before we get started, I just want to open up with some good energies by saying peace and Grand Rising to the gods and goddesses of Planet Ka, peace to the ancestors, peace to the elders, peace to the youth, peace to my peers, peace to all the crystal babies, peace to all the high vibrational beings on Planet Ka, peace to the plant life of Planet Ka. I send all good energy our way, and let's get right into it. So finally, we're not at the end of it because I did miss Gemini, but we're coming close to the end of the first segment of this series, I guess, or this portion of my channel of astrology. Just going through the signs and whatnot, and just explaining what they mean, and just kind of my perspective on them, and basically the characteristics behind them, and the traits and characteristics behind all the signs and whatnot. Whatever. Today we're gonna be talking about your Saturn energy, or Saturn energy, or Capricorn and Aquarius. Saturn originally ruled Aquarius, so that's why I'm doing Aquarius today, because Uranus doesn't have a day specifically. It's just a higher octave of Mercury, so technically speaking, I would do it on Wednesday, but Saturn rules Aquarius as well, so I'm gonna just do Aquarius and Capricorn together since they kind of have a lot of similarities. So that being said, let's get right into it. So the Aquarius, I don't know why I'm doing Aquarius before Capricorn, but I guess because I am an Aquarius sun, so I don't know, it's just intuitive for me to do it like this, so we're just gonna do it like this. But yeah, man, so Aquarius, man, this is the sign that is the best friend of the whole zodiac. Us Aquariuses, we fuck with friendship. Like, friendship is the key thing to Aquarius. That and knowledge. Knowledge and friendship is basically the number one things you can get from Aquarius, because they rule the 11th house, and the 11th house deals with friendship, deals with the collective consciousness. It deals with basically how you gain income through your community. And just other traits, but I'm not gonna go too deep into the 11th house. But Aquariuses are known to be humanitarians in their community. They're the know-it-all of the zodiac, so they're the people you go to basically if you want to know something, you'll go to an Aquarius for the most part, or a Gemini. Those two signs, they're basically the most intellectual signs, along with Virgo and Sagittarius. Those signs accumulate knowledge at a very high rate. Virgo being the lowest of them all, because Virgo kind of sees things from a third dimensional aspect, versus the air signs and Sagittarius, they kind of see it from a deeper or higher aspect. But for the most part, those signs can accumulate knowledge. With Aquarius, though, it's on a whole nother level, and I'm not just being biased, but we have the ability and potential to acquire and communicate knowledge on a whole different type of octave. Like, it's not a better octave, but it's just a different octave. It's a unique octave, because we're willing to think outside the box to the point where it has to be different, otherwise it's not going to feel right. We do have stubborn qualities because we are fixed air. It's fixed air. Air deals with the mental, like I said in the Libra video. It's the mental, it's the communication. It's, air deals with the mind. It deals with, partially the heart space, because the heart space rules air in the sense of the freedom and connectedness, connecting with others, flowing. It flows. So you can, like, anciently, we're able to communicate using the element of air to one another, so we can send out signals, and the air can basically be that messenger or that courier of that message, and we can send it to whoever we deem fit for the message. But yeah, Aquariuses, they're very smart. Aquarius is very smart. They have basically the capability of attaining knowledge on a higher whole different level. So they can be into occultic sciences, they can be into technology, they can be into anything creative, music. They can be into a lot of things, but the thing about them is they like to know about these things. They don't like to really too much express themselves in a manner like Leo, their opposing sign, because they're more fixated on the mindset of what they're doing, versus Leo's more fixated on what they're doing. and how it's producing that light. Aquarius is kind of bring that information in that form of light because, you know, when it comes to information, it is light. So they bring the light in a different way. That's why they're kind of similar to, well, that's why they are similar to Leo, because they both have the ability to acquire knowledge and bring it into the spotlight. Just Leo is just more noticeable with it. Another thing about Aquarius is they do have a tendency to kind of be detached. So like you'll probably fuck around and be friends with Aquarius, and they'll just disappear, or we'll just, you know, it's not like we mean to do it. It's just we kind of like having our own space, so we can think about like everything, so we can do that shadow work and be in our mental realm, because we work on the mind space. And that's kind of similar to Scorpio. It's just Scorpio deals with the deep emotions, Aquarius deals with the deep mental. They do like to bring good ideas or different ideas or unique ideas to the table and initiate on them, because they like to go against society, the norm. They're the rebel of the sign of the zodiac wheel. They're the rebel sign of the zodiac wheel, and they're also ruled by Uranus. So they're partially ruled by Saturn and partially ruled by Uranus. Uranus being its modern ruler, so that's what gives them that rebellious energy, because Uranus is the only planet that symbolically sits on its side, so that represents the energy of rebellion or being unique. And in today's age, everybody is taught to be the same, taught to follow the norm, and Aquarius don't like following the norm because it doesn't feel like you're being free. I feel like I'm a replica of something else, and they like being themselves. One thing about Aquarius is they love unique things. They love unique energy, period. Whatever it is, it has to be unique for them to really gravitate toward it. They love to communicate. Communication is Aquarius's superpower. They can communicate on any level. And just to use myself as an example, since I am a son in Aquarius, I think it was like 6th grade or so. I was taken to a psychiatrist, and they basically did like I forgot what it's called, but they did like test on my mind. I guess they just did an evaluation. I'm just call that, just to see like if I have any, you know, mental discrepancies going on. And in the paperwork, they basically said for the most part, I have the ability to break down complex information in a simple manner. They didn't say those words, but if you take the words and kind of paraphrase it, it's basically what they said. How I can take complex information and make it simple. And before I even discovered that paperwork, because I never really read it and interpreted it that way, because I never had the perspective that I had then, because we always are growing, so I never looked at it on that level. But now when I think about it, before I even came across that paper, people did actually say, damn, you know how to make this esoteric shit simple and understanding, easy to understand. And that's just a part of like my setup, is to bring this information and make it real simple for you to understand, so that you can take it and actually run off with it in your own direction and not feel lost in this world, because that's the key thing that the oppressors want, is us to be lost, so that we can follow in their traps. You know, we can, you know, worship their little messiahs and their gods and deities, the people who don't really see what's best fit for us. And Aquariuses are the righteous energy. That's that righteous energy of, you know, going against the grain of the tyrannical. They don't like when motherfuckers is like Libra, shit being unjustified or shit out of balance. They like justice just as much as Libra. And they'll do whatever it takes to get to that justice, and that's why they're the rebellious energy. They're the rebels. That rebel energy goes as far as them being head of a militia, them, you know, creating their own secret societies, them creating their own group to go against any other public group. You know, they're that energy. That's that energy of, you know, community groups. You know, so like for an example, groups like LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, these are representations of Aquarian energy and 11th house energy, because they're just groups that represent a community. Yeah, man. We are in the age of Aquarius. So a lot of energy that's permeating through the cosmos is, you know, energy of the mental, the air element, you know, dealing with the mind, dealing with, you know, discovering higher levels of consciousness, because that's what Aquarius deals with, just, you know, expanding your consciousness in a way where you're basically upgrading the way you think and the way you are as a being, you know, because that's the only human, other than Virgo, that's the only human sign or human zodiac out of the whole world, because they represent humanity and its evolution, because Uranus also represents evolution too. They're the sign that brings evolution into your life and change, you know, abrupt change. So anywhere Uranus is in your chart, just expect that energy to change in that manner. So if you have Uranus in fucking Scorpio, you're gonna go through change on a deeper level within yourself, and it's always gonna be internal. Versus Aquarius is gonna be natural of the external in the community amongst us and what we can actually speak into existence, because the throat chakra is very powerful. It basically is what creates our reality. What else? Aquariuses are good at being on stage just as much as a Leo. That's why you might see an Aquarius be like a spokesman, be a motivational speaker, or like a host of an event, because that's basically their ability to be amongst a crowd and speak to them. That's why they're detached. Think of the detachment as them being kind of outside of the crowd observing it, and not really they're a part of it, but it's like I want to kind of see what's the wave, what's the energy behind this whole entire thing. They have the tendency to, and I used to do this as well, they have the tendency to to basically observe their environment, but specifically humanity. So like when I was in Minnesota and before COVID and all this bullshit happened, downtown used to be just busy. It used to be the Matrix, the typical Matrix that they show you in the movies. I mean, from college students to people in business suits going to they 9 to 5s, to all type of energies, trains, buses, anything you can think of is a typical matrix, because that's Minnesota's infrastructure is to represent a matrix, like the typical practical matrix. And I used to just observe like how people just are not aware of, like, they have a choice to not go to that job. They have a choice. It's just they're programmed to think otherwise, and through that program they express themselves the best way they can until they come across an event in their life that causes them to wake up. Because usually people go through an awakening, they stumble across something that startles their consciousness. It doesn't have to be something traumatic, but when you go through an awakening, you do stumble across either some information or a situation that makes you think deeply, or anything that just shifts the way you think about life, shifts your perspective on your existence. This happened to me when I discovered my musical talent. Like when I first started recording myself, motherfuckers was actually fucking with music, and I wasn't even expecting them to actually like give me good energy on it. Like, I'm a person of honesty, so I'm always willing to take the honest opinion. Just it has to be honest and not hurtful intentionally, because the truth never hurts if it's true, if it's really true. And if one side saying this and the other side saying that, someone's just saying something from how they feel versus what's actually presented to them in their perspective of it. Because if you're taking it personal, or if you're using your personal feelings to cultivate your opinion, it kind of becomes a bias, and you become what you call cognitive dissonant, and you'll basically be swinging by how you personally feel versus what's actually logically right about the situation. And Aquarius kind of deal with that energy a lot, because when they're trying to present facts, a lot of people be trying to like debunk them because they don't understand the facts as being truth, not being how you feel about the truth, but it's actually like, yeah, we all know there's a deity that's grand and great, but who is this deity who's grand and great? You know what I'm saying? It's just, we all know that's a fact that there's a unknown presence that's omnipresent amongst us, and it takes us a lot of situations and events, or a lot of trials and tribulations for us to really come to an understanding of what that energy is. We all know that, but our perspective of it is key, and people don't know or understand like what perspective is. They like to take their perspective and make it everybody else's, and I've dealt with that, and I don't even put that energy on the people. I don't, if you don't see how I see it, good, because I want to see how I want to see it and stay like that. I don't want motherfuckers to see exactly how I see it, because you're never ever going to see how I see it. You're not walking my shoes, you're not living my life path, you're not coming across the discoveries that I did. And Aquarius is that energy is what drives that ability to raise your consciousness, is that shift. They're the energy of shifting. So to understand Aquarius energy, to understand yourself as an Aquarius, you got to really tap into that mental realm and play with your mind, and really tap into the ability to not only speak the words that come to thought, but actually break down the words that are thoughts, because you can hear that voice in your head and you're like, all right, I can hear that voice. What's that voice? Don't speak, just, feel me, mental plane. But yeah, Aquarius energy, they love friendship, like I said before. So, they take their friendship serious. Even when dating, they take their relationships as a very, it's just, to me personally, I see it as it's like a deeper bond friendship. I don't have regular friendships because of my other energies. I don't have too much Aquarius energy, but I can say when it comes to that energy, friendship is one thing I pay attention to a lot. And I keep good friends, and I have other planets in the 11th house that, allow me to have good relationships with my friends and shit like that. But at the same time, I don't keep too many friends around. Just because I can't have these good relationships don't mean I want too many fucking relationships or too many friends. You feel me? It's just how I am personally. And Aquariuses can be like that. They can be detached. They can be unemotional. They can be, taken from the earthly realm, and they could be in their head or in the cosmos, because that's kind of like what they are. Like, they know a lot of shit. They're the know-it-alls. They're the energies of I know. So they're gonna say that a lot. When we're trying to break something down to an Aquarius, or we try to tell Aquarius or something, they're gonna basically hit you with the I know and then present you with the fuck they know. And it's a bad habit if they don't know how to control it, but for the most part, that's their go-to phrase when they really truly do know some shit. And a lot of people think Aquariuses don't give a fuck. We do. It's just we don't like to show our emotions. We like to figure out our emotions in a different way by thinking. But that's just like, when it comes to like figuring out the emotions, you have to look at your 8th house. So even if you have Aquarius energy, you dealing with the emotions, it's hard for you. You gotta look at where your 8th house is, just so you can understand your emotions better. That's how I understood my shit. But yeah, we don't like dealing with emotions. We don't like feeling too deeply. Once we get to that point, we kind of stir away from it and just go back to that mental plane. So don't fault an Aquarius if they don't want to talk about some shit that's emotional, because they probably not ready at that time to really dive into that realm, because they may not have water placements to do that. I have water placements, so I can easily get into my emotions, but motherfucker might have earth or air placements, you feel me? So it's like, they can't really do too much deep seeking in their emotions. They just gonna be either practical about it or surface level. It is what it is. But for the most part, they can communicate how they feel. They can communicate it. They can talk to you about, they can be good counselors. They can be good. They're good communicators. Like, they know how to really like communicate something to you, and they can be slick with the mouth too. So that goes to that dark side of them, kind of like being blank, because they're gonna say what's true. They're always truth seeking. It's like a Sagittarius. They both have that ability to just be sharp with the tongue. So if you're in Aquarius and you have a Mercury in Aquarius, you got to really pay attention to what you say to people and make sure you're not coming off as this cold, stern, fiery ass person. You know, you gotta kind of slow down on the airbending. God damn it, I don't know how to explain that shit, but nah, Aquarius energy, man. You know, it's really all about, you know, liberation, uplifting. You know, anywhere Aquarius energy is at, you're gonna have that energy, you know, playing out. You're always gonna have that energy, you know, sticking through, and especially now because it's the age of Aquarius. So if you really want to tap in and really know your purpose and really figure out what's going on in this reality, tap into the Aquarius energies in your chart if they are there. And even if they're not there, just look up this energy, just look up the age of Aquarius. You know, I might do a video on that just to get my perspective on what I know about the age of Aquarius, but just do some research on that and you'll actually be able to understand what's actually going on in front of you, because all this weird shit, Aquarius energy, all that weird, different, you know, everybody want to be different all of a sudden. They want to be out of the box. That's Aquarius energy. That's why you'll see a whole bunch of shit on social media that either deals with motherfuckers coming to realizations about certain shit and, you know, speaking the truth on it, you know, aka the conspiracy theorists, or you're gonna see some shit that's just weird as fuck and just like, what the fuck is that? That's Aquarius energy, because it can rebel in a positive manner or in a negative manner. You know what I'm saying? What goes against Aquarius energy is tyranny. So we're battling a tyrannical energy of a species who wants to take and strip us from our power to the point where we can't do anything, but they know they can't. So they're trying to, you know, manipulate the energies because they're aware of this information and we're catching up on it. But if we really tap in, you always had the energy. Yeah. But that's Aquarius energy for y'all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to make this video too long because I got to get to the Capricorn energy. But yeah, man, you know, if you're an Aquarius, you know, tap in, you know, just, you know, tap into your mental plane, like I said, and just learn how to travel within your mind, and it's going to take you somewhere. But yeah, man, if I missed anything, you know what I'm saying, I highly doubt I missed anything on this video, but if I missed anything, be sure to drop a comment and leave a like and subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell. And I'm gonna leave as I came by saying grand rising, peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai, peace to the ancestors, peace to the elderlies, peace to my peers, peace to the youth, peace to the crystal baby, star seeds, plant life. You already know what's going on. You feel me? Finna take the planet back. And you know what I'm saying, I send good high vibrations to everyone for watching this video. Peace.